Good morning! The time has come. It is nice and consistently warm outside, so I thought it's time to look at the garden, clean it up a little bit, repot some of my plants in the larger pots, and yeah, just overall give the garden a little bit of a refresh leading up to summer. And that is exactly what we're doing in today's video, and I hope you're gonna come along. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're finally filming outside again. I'm really excited. I love being outdoors. The construction right over there is also kind of coming to an end. So I feel like maybe by the time summer comes around, they're done and dusted and it's not so annoying. Now, this isn't actually the first thing I've done for the garden this year. I did actually clean the pavers a couple of almost 2 months ago by now, or 1.5 months ago by now, as part of a campaign with Bunnings. They are getting slightly dirty again. I think that's because these pavers are just untreated. Like nothing I would actually put in my garden if this was my garden, but out of my control, right? So they probably need for another clean, but we probably won't fit that in today. The other thing I've done is I cut off some dead plants over winter, right? I think you've seen, I've done a couple of videos where I talk about how the plants are going throughout winter, which ones have survived and so on. Look, I didn't want to look at just dead leaves for another 2 months until I finally have time to do it all in one day. So most of the dead leaves, hello tiger, most of the dead leaves have already gone, but don't worry, we'll find more. They might not be dead, but they're definitely ugly. Hey, we don't go into that corner, no. We don't like that corner for you. This corner you're allowed, yeah? He loves being behind the greenhouse and then jump into the neighbor's garden. And then I just have to patiently wait until he comes back, which I don't like. Anyway, and the greenhouse also needs a lot of work. First of all, it's filthy. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'll bring you a bit closer. It is filthy, so it needs a big clean. To clean it, I want to take all of the plants out, and most of them will probably also need a bit of a repot. So that is going to be its own video coming up eventually. So today let's just focus on the garden. I think there's still plenty of things to do: cleaning, chopping, repotting, whatever. I don't have like an exact plan on what needs to be done or what doesn't need to be done, but just upon first glance, I think clean the garden beds, check any of the potted plants if they need repotting, provide everything with a dose of nutrients as well, because I don't provide nutrients out here as frequently as I do inside. Actually, hardly ever, because rain, especially over winter, rain is just doing most of the watering. Obviously clean the floor, there's a lot of debris everywhere, and maybe rearrange a little bit. I do want to make a little bit more room to bring some of my plants that are currently inside out here as well. But yeah, see how we go. We're just trying to get as much done as possible. Also, the mozzies are back. I did spray some mozzie bits earlier in the year. I'm gonna sprinkle a few more of these mozzie bits. Hang on, I think I have an open packet. But yeah, mozzies will be an issue this year as well. Okay, let me bring you a bit closer first so we can see the current state. Over here, we've got the jade tree. Actually, these are just some sticks. They were part of a flower bouquet that I got, but they were too large for the inside. Gotta take them out. But the jade is actually grown really nice. I gave this a pretty hectic trim in a repot last year, and it's looking really nice and lush. I want to keep it there because this spot actually gets quite a lot of sun, especially in the morning. So it seems to suit it. Huh? Golden cane palm is looking okay. I definitely got a few of these leaves that I could cut off. Definitely don't want to repot this because this is already getting too lush. So this is staying. Here's my wall of aeroids. It has seen better days. don't think we're going to do any chop and extends today, but I definitely want to clean them up. Look at this, for example, the dubia, the latest winter leaf wasn't the best, but it is now growing via caterpillar over here. I think I want to give these a little bit more time to actually grow again after winter. They've definitely suffered a little bit. This one is growing a new leaf. This the Deliciosa Brazilian forms looking good. Actually, this one is also growing a new leaf, a little bit smaller, but look, I'm just going to give all of these plants a couple of leaves of growth before I'm going to do something with them. This one came from the inside world. Oopsie. Now the light exposure is coming from the back, especially towards the afternoon, so that's suboptimal, but it's at least happy, you know. This one hasn't done anything all winter long, so I'm waiting for new growth over here before I introduce more shock. Yeah, down here, nothing. We'll see. Last year it really exploded out here. Siltepecana's looking good. Probably needs a chop and extend because this has been just trailed up and down many times. But oh well. And the Pinati Patita is looking really sad. I mean, you can see this really skinny stem was when it was growing indoors, and when I put it outdoors last year, you can really see when the stem has gotten really thick. So it likes the outdoors, it just didn't like the outdoors during winter. I cut it in a bunch of spots, so there are new shoots coming up everywhere, but yeah, some obviously didn't make it. Yeah, gotta wait and see. I'll stay patient on this one. The Marcianum, oh, even sending out a flower. I think this one would be a good one for a repot today, because look at all of these roots. I think we'll repot this today. Then we've got the Heliconias. We're going to talk about them in a little bit more detail later, so let me skip over those for now. Here, the garden beds, I just want to clean them up a little bit. There's a lot of debris, there's a lot of like some not so nice foliage and so on. Just clean it up a little bit, make room for new growth over the next few months. But what I really wanted to show you is when I did my oxalis repot, I just put the spare soil in the ground, like I just threw it over the garden bed, and look at the small little oxalis popping up everywhere. And you can probably also see the mosses already. And that was by design, right? I was thinking that probably I didn't get all of the corms, and yeah, I didn't get them all. Oh, by the way, look at this new leaf here. Nice. Right, and then over here, some of these alocasias are coming back to life. Oh my goodness, maybe I just need to give up on this, huh? This one's coming back to life, was completely eaten last year, so over here probably also nothing to do. I'll just probably clean up the garden bed a little bit. And nothing to do behind the greenhouse. You can see that I think it's Star Jasmine is starting to take over the garden bed. Not an issue to me. Yeah, can you see how filthy the greenhouse is? I need to change that. Bird of Paradise is growing a full leaf. It's almost been 1 year since its rescue, and I really can't complain. I think it's looking good, but yeah, realistically, I don't think I have a bigger pot to even put it in, so it just needs to stay in this. This one is finally doing something over here, I think. It's been looking like this all winter long, but it has crazy roots. I'll show you later when I can take it out of the pot with 2 hands. Working on a special video on the banana. It's not looking its best, but don't worry, I've got it all covered. And this is another Heliconia. This one is showing no signs of new growth, so we got to look into this. I want to see if this has just all rotted or if I'm just impatient. And then we've got some plants over here. Some of them are actually already repotted. I repotted both of my cannas, and you can see, oh, I need to trim some of these ugly leaves off here. But you can see how many new shoots are coming out over here. So they are now starting their growth journey for the season. And look at this. Bismarck palm desperately needs a repot, has never been repotted. And yeah, I think that's it. So, let's get started, I suppose. I want to start with the garden beds. Let's start with that. I think that's a safe thing to do. I don't know if this is the appropriate way of putting on the apron. By the way, guys, I always get messages about the apron. It's just an apron I found on Amazon. I just googled apron. And then I with like contact film, or what, you know, the iron on patches kind of thing. That's how I just ironed on my little leaf logo. I would love to kind of produce them, but I'm not going to be the one producing or fulfilling them. Honestly, I don't have any solution for merch, or I mean, the only solution for merch I found is like making generic t-shirts and tote bags and mugs, and I mean, which is not a bad thing, let's say, but I'm not excited about it. So if you know of any place that can kind of make custom aprons and then also be part of the fulfillment and customer service journey, so that I'm really just a marketer, that would be ideal. Let me know. We also need to be mindful of spiders. Okay, so I'm gonna wear gloves. Should probably wear long sleeve everything, but YOLO. Let me get rid of all of the thing in front of the garden bed. This is my furniture, by the way. I keep it covered all winter long because it rains so much. It would just basically be, it would never dry. Also, look how terribly this table has faded and with the, not faded, you know what I mean. I really need to sand it down and give it a proper coating. And I think Tim has a sander, I think, and a spray gun. So we'll tackle that, but also not today. Wow. We're gonna talk about the tomato film later as well. Ow, ow, ow. This is kind of the extent of my garden bed. You see it all the way starting from behind this palm, but nothing really happening on this side. And then it kind of goes around here, and that's the part of the garden bed that I actually, like, pay attention to. This, my... it has super... Look at that. It has super spiky petioles, and I just got a colocasia leaf stuck in there. Oh well, I actually don't want to put any further plants into the ground. I think I have enough. It's going to get overcrowded in that garden bed otherwise. Last year it got pretty crowded within just one growing season, or like almost less than a growing season. I didn't move in at the beginning of it. Now I'm wondering if I want to put it back in that spot or not. It served the plant well, but there is a big colocasia coming out behind it. Anyway, we'll find out. For now, what I really want to do is I just want to get any debris out of this garden bed. I don't want to jinx anything, but at least it's overcast today, so it's not going to be too sweaty for me, and you guys hopefully won't overheat as well, because you guys even overheated in winter inside. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, here's a Heliconia, and I can see new shoots coming out the ground. I'll take you a bit closer once I cleaned this up a bit better. I just want to get rid of some of the leaf debris because it just doesn't look that nice. I should really do something with this plant. It's a no ID. It's not the prettiest. I have a couple of those. That's why I just chucked it outside, but it survived winter. I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to put it further down to the base of the fence so it can actually climb up the fence a bit. Okay, this, I think it's a gardenia. It's kind of like growing a bit too fast, swallowing my syngoniums. Not happy with that. Maybe I should come from the side maybe, huh? Should be able to see that a little better. Got a 3 kings and a white confetti syngonium here. Milk confetti, maybe just confetti, I don't remember. And this again, lots of debris. A little bit of debris is not bad, right? Also helps the soil retain moisture, but I put a nice mulch down last year, and I would like to see it. Here's a fern that I never put in the ground last year. I think I really need to put this into the ground, otherwise it's never gonna grow nicely. Whoops. So let's do that, even though I just said I'm not gonna put any more plants in the ground. Let me get rid of these ugly leaves. It's growing season now. They're gonna grow new leaves really quickly, so I'm not mad about this. And you saw there was a new one coming out. This one actually looks like it was eaten by something. But look over here, I'm actually very surprised with how well some of my crawling philodendron did out here. You can see, I think this one is a Dean McDowell and a Mame leaf over here. I can't see new growth, but I'm not gonna rock the boat. I'm just gonna let it do its own thing. Yeah, look. It's a little oxalis. And I know they're weed, but I didn't put it in the garden. I put it in the garden bed. So it should still be contained by the garden bed, right? But I'll keep an eye on it. If it's just overtaking, then I might dig it out. People are always so worried about like, oh, this plant, it can take over. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. And if it takes over, then I'll just take it out, no? Like, I enjoy the process of gardening. I'm not planning on having a garden and then letting it sit there for years without doing anything about it. But I suppose people have different goals. I enjoy the gardening, not just the garden. Oh my god, the way I just said that sounded so weird. This, however, looks terrible. I don't remember what it was. Bye. Okay, this one is Philodendron Campi, or Philodendron Lynette. It's been on this for a long time, but I think it will be fine. Maybe I need to cut some ugly leaves. But it survived winter out here, so I think it's only now gonna get better. Maybe I can put this in the corner here. I kind of like that idea, huh? Alrighty. Look at here. Lots and lots of dead Maranta leaves. This Maranta actually did really well this winter. It didn't even go fully dormant and is now growing again. Oh, this is my Bosworth Beauty, also spotting a new leaf over here, so I think that means it's time to say goodbye to all the old and ugly ones. I'm pretty rough with these plants out here, yeah. And here we've got a couple of plants that I found the fence. These canna lilies were looking a bit... The leaves aren't bad, but they were just hanging. They weren't really standing up. Alrighty. Alright, holy moly. Oh! Let me pot this up as well. And yes, I'm just using my hands. As always, it's all about the tools, and I don't have a rake. If I would have a rake, this would be easy. Oh, shit, I just emptied it in the green bin and got slapped by a branch across the face. Can you see anything? No, I don't think so. I forgot this ugly thing here. I'm gonna chop this off and see if it wants to reshoot, because this looks dead. I hope there's no spiders coming out of them. Alright, now that I know that there's new shoots coming, they're not terrible, but they're blocking the entrance a little bit. But I do like this. I want this palm to go more high and give me privacy rather than impact my walking space down below. So I think this will suit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Now I can have my couch here and this is not like hanging in my face. I didn't realize how big this palm is growing. Look at this. I don't know if you can even see it if it's in frame. Here. Beautiful. And then I want to put that licuala this one. I want to put this in front of it because that other palm would shade it a little bit, making sure it doesn't get direct sun. I don't think these will really appreciate direct sun, but they are a bit scary with their spiky petioles. And look, this doesn't have to be 100% clean now, because I will, once I've done the greenhouse and I've finished with all of the repotting in the greenhouse, I will also just give this whole garden a gurney again. I just want to get rid of the debris for now, majority of it at least. Bromeliad display. Did a video on this the other day. I think it is getting a little bit too sunny in the spot that it is in right now. I even had a monstera burn in that spot last year, so I want to put it into a shadier corner for summer. It still gets afternoon sun. Now this, ideally, initially I thought I'll put it back on this corner. It was here on this corner before, but this plant is going to grow so lush and large very soon that it's basically just going to cover this corner. So what's the point? So I'm thinking I have a bit of an empty spot here. Maybe this would look nice here. Thoughts? I like it. This is kind of exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Looks a little bit empty down here. What could I put here? I have an idea that could fail, but we'll find out. These are just some corms of Regal Shields, and yes, I'm just growing it in a slab of moss without anything. They survived winter in the greenhouse, so why don't I just take the whole thing, put it in the ground and see if any alocasia wants to sprout. The corms I put in Tim's garden are exploding at the moment. They're going so well. So at least I tried, you know. Trio Star is flowering. It's not super lush, but it's flowering. I hope it's gonna get really lush this season. That would be really cool. I think I'm pretty happy with this corner. Let's put the furniture back so that I can move on to the next corner. Ah, here comes the sun. My orchid over here has also survived winter outside. Apparently winter is supposed to induce flowering, which it hasn't done for me, but it's grown a couple of new shoots. I've also never repotted this plant, and I'm not planning on changing that now. It'll just go back on the table. It's just a little pop of green in a very dirty pot. But look, we need to fix the table soon anyway. This one is my Xanadu. Nothing to do here. I think I cut off all of the ugly leaves already. Just let her get really nice and bushy again over summer and we'll be fine. We kind of abandoned this corner, huh? Let's continue with the cleaning. It's crazy how much debris I take out of this little garden. Keep in mind I took two or three big tubs a month and a half ago. Alrighty, let's keep going with this side maybe. Why not? Quick change of heads. If it's getting sunny, I want as much sun protection as I can. Now I look like a real gardener. Nothing really to do here apart from cleaning in between. We're going to focus on that wall of aeroids in a separate video because that's going to be a whole thing in itself. But maybe let's use this opportunity to get on top of the Heliconias. Actually, I parked them all on the other side because that's going to be better for us to film. Let me take the thermatophyllum over there as well because it also needs assessing. Look at the baby over there. Cute, huh? Today you're actually very well behaved, darling. I know, you go back inside because you don't like this one. I'll park the Martianum on that side as well. You guys are running out of battery already. Well, that's better than overheating. Let me quickly get you changed. Careful, you're not gonna like this one, darling. Look at the baby over there. Alright, let me move this out of the way. Don't forget to hydrate. I need my scissors now. So unorganized. Right, I want to cut off any of these leaves that look like they might have had like some sort of rust. I don't know. Maybe it's rust, maybe it's not as sinister. If anybody knows, let me know. Not that I'm gonna do anything about it. This plant should grow so fast that it kind of like doesn't matter if you have to cut a few leaves. Now keep in mind, it's only now really getting warm consistently. Like last week there was still single digits at night. So I'm surprised at how well this has... Well, this is a bit broken, isn't it? I'm surprised at how well this has grown already. Nothing else to do here. Kind of Cleopatra, showing absolutely zero red. But that's okay. It's kind of a nice bushy filler plant. It's going to give me privacy, but I would love the red. But it has beautiful flowers, so I still think it's worth growing. You, my friend, need a repot. This is my caladium. It's obviously gone dormant last year. I haven't done anything with it, and it just stayed... I put it in a greenhouse actually over winter, so that it doesn't get rained on unnecessarily. Can you see... this over here where my finger is? There's a bulb, and I can definitely see a shoot coming out of that bulb. Okay, awesome. Okay, but I can at least see one. So I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to put it back in its spot and let nature do its thing. And then over here we've got some propagations of my... I think it's called African milk tree. It's like a succulent kind of type that I took last year. Okay. Okay. How are you alive but not dead but also not doing anything? Fuck, maybe the water got too cold for them over winter. Huh? Because there was some roots earlier. This one has like literally 4 roots. What is this? That's very disappointing. Anyway, I just want to change the water because probably a source of mozzies as well. Over here we've got a grevillea and a euphorbia. But I bought a new native the other day as well. King Protea. And maybe I can hang this here. I think here, so it's kind of part of the others as well. Looks a bit odd, but it's okay. That's good enough. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I can definitely see some spiders sitting on there. Okay, let's tackle the tomatophyllum first. There's some ugly leaves in here. This one, this one's actually not too bad. I think the rest I can keep. I mean, this one doesn't look the best, but there's also, yes, I don't know if you can see this, there's inflows coming out of here. Bye. Sorry, I don't know if it's actually saving energy because I suppose the plant has already put some energy into it, but I don't want to see it flower. Now, this really needs a repot. And I need to make room. Anyway, when I did some repotting for my cannas and so on, I put a big tub of potting mix together. It was just, oh my god, premium potting mix like this. With perlite and worm castings, because my cannas want it really swampy, almost super water retentive. I do like to add perlite, even if a plant likes water retentive mix, it still doesn't necessarily want that mix to be soggy. So I always add perlite. I don't think you can go wrong. Somebody left a comment the other day like, isn't it stupid to add a water retaining component and then perlite for drainage? Isn't it just achieving the opposite? It's like saying, it's like, yes, it is achieving the opposite, but as a result of that you get a balanced medium, right? If you only use perlite, you can technically do that. You'll have lots of drainage but not enough water retention. You could do that in like a container without drainage, right? If you just use the potting medium, you might have too much water retention and the medium like never dries out. Could work if you're growing outdoors in really hot, dry conditions, for example, but the chances of something going wrong are higher. So if you balance out your medium, you just have a balance, and you know, like it's tolerant to a little bit more water or a little bit less water because you've got a balance of everything. It's like, imagine with cooking, you know, like if you cook a good sauce, you want to have some sweet components, some salty, some savory, you know, some umami and so on. You're not just eating sweet or just salty, like salted caramel. You know, you get a little bit of sweet, you get a little bit of salt. That's what makes it so nice and interesting. It's always about the balance. Anyway, for my tomato film, I'm using a bag of orchid mix as well. Let me show you. This is the orchid mix. I wouldn't use it for indoor plants. For indoor plants, I like to just have bark. But over here, there's some bark and some mulchish components. It's still water retentive. But I'm growing it outside, so it's fine. So I'm just going to mix this through. And I could probably add more perlite if I wanted to, but honestly, I don't want to go back downstairs for now. Probably going to regret that in a hot minute, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to give this the biggest pot possible. I think this is 50 centimeters, the biggest one Bunnings sells. Let's put a layer of that substrate in first. Oh my god, I think it's going to use the whole tub. But this plant has grown so strong for me last year after I repotted it that I definitely want to repeat it. Now I know that they grow all over Sydney on the streets over here, nobody's repotting them, but well, they're usually not in pots, huh? Oh my god. What the f***? This has also been in here for 4 years. What the? Oh my god. I got it. Look at this. I'll try and bring you closer and show you. The root system is insanity. Oh my god. Didn't think this through, did I? Oh my god, this is never gonna come out of here. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Marcianum. Oh my god. Deja vu from last year. Come on. Yes. Ow. Oh my god. I think there's a lot of roots that grew out of So I didn't put this straight into the white pot. Oh no. Need to trim some roots, the ones that I'd kind of just split in half. So it wasn't directly potted into the white pot. There's a black planter in here. Very tight fit. I can't really get it out, I think. Yes. So obviously some roots went through here and then kind of accumulated or like reached down. And those roots were just split in half. Bradley, what are you doing in the garden bed? Don't be in the garden bed. You're gonna trample on my plants. Okay, let me show you a bit closer. Crazy roots. Oh no, I think I snapped this. You can see how thick these roots are. But you can also see somewhere I just split the root, huh? Didn't I? Yeah. This one over here. See how I just split that by accident? But I think it can do with one less root. So that root is damaged. I'm going to have to cut this off because it's going to just rot away. Now I am not planning on freeing up any of the root system here. I think there's no point. Too much work. I'm just gonna pop it right in there and just top it up. That way I'm also not using all too much new substrate because I have other plants I need to repot today as well. Whew. Holy moly, that was exhausting. Let's park this on the side. Probably not ideal that I just dropped it. And I have decided to just keep the moss pile because why not? Even though I'm doing a terrible job at keeping the moss pile moist, my main priority right now is really giving these roots, I want them to make contact with the substrate and build a larger root system within the pot. As a result of that, I'm also going to I'm not disregarding the pole, I'm just keeping it there, but I'm not really aiming for the pole to be a feature or whatever. I'm just putting it up like this, kind of on an angle. The reason I'm putting it on an angle is so that I don't have to cut off the bottom 3 to 4 leaves that would otherwise kind of be inside the pot. Because I like the way that it looks right now. I kind of think it looks cute. Park it on the side. See how these roots are now going to contact the substrate. Alrighty, now on to the biggest challenge, the Heliconias. Let's start off with this one. You can hopefully see there's 1, 2, 3, you cannot see the 4th one, but there's 4 little new growth points coming out. Let me put it down. Why are there ants on me now? That means that this plant has really just gone dormant, right? So they have, I think rhizomes is the correct terminology, under the ground, and obviously while it dropped all of its leaves over winter, the rhizomes survived and are now pushing out new growth, and they grow really, really fast, right? So within a season or so, this will probably outgrow the pot. But all it tells me is that it's alive, it's okay. So with this one, I actually don't want to do anything but provide some nutrients. But we do that later at the very end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Awesome, okay, 6. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Nice, okay, so this is the yellow dancer. That's the same one that's also in the ground. And the one in the ground has also spotted some new growth. So happy days, I'm happy with this. One less job to do. Park it on the side. Next one. Oh my god, this is so heavy. I want to take you out of the planter. What is this rubbish? Oh shit, did I just do that? Yeah. Okay. Note for future, don't put on the Heliconia, but to be honest, I can see a rotten core over here. See, this bit is rotten, so this wouldn't have grown anyway. I cannot get this out of here. It is so heavy, and I've just discovered a worm in here. Okay, I was trying to avoid making a mess, but quite clearly, okay, now that's working. Yuck. Okay, we've got some root rot coming out the bottom. Not a good sign. We need to look into this, don't we, huh? Maybe I kept this too wet. Oh my god, worms. Not happy. I hate worms, guys. Really, really hate them. Okay, maybe there. Ah! Oh shit. Sorry, I really hate worms. I'm so glad I'm wearing gloves. Sorry, I know you guys are really far away. Let me just demonstrate to you. These are the roots. See how I can just pull the root out? That's root rot. You can see how moist this is over here, but some parts are still firm. Squeeze it. And honestly, it's the first season that I've had Heliconias outside. I wasn't too sure if this is gonna happen or if they're gonna survive. The ones in Timmy's ground have actually all come back to life, so I think in itself the temperatures aren't the problem. I think this was too much water for them in the pot and insufficient drainage, which is great during these 40-degree hot summer days, but not during winter, apparently. And honestly, I don't know to what extent I need to chop off any rot or if it's just going to recover by itself, but I'm going with the recovering by itself option. You can see I just ripped these apart. On the inside it looks fine. And yes, as you can see behind me, the misting system is back in use. Oh well, I'm glad I looked into it and wasn't just waiting, because I learned something from this. That's good. I learned what I can do better next year, because I'm sure I'm not going to give up on Heliconias. I love them. Let's put all of this back in here, park it in the corner and pretend it never happened. I think the medium itself actually looks good, and I can't see all too many rotten roots throughout, so I think this is usable in a garden bed or for a future repot. Okay, I'll park these here. I want to get them confused. They're two different types of Heliconias. Let's just do the same. At least I definitely don't have to go to the gym today. Okay, also I think some root rot. Yeah. So I think maybe what I can learn from this is, like, next winter, I know the leaves aren't going to survive. I can induce dormancy and then just store them somewhere dry. Just they're so large, I can't really put them anywhere. You know, basically do the same as I did with my caladium. It's a good learning curve. Oh my god, another worm. I know they're good, but can they just be good somewhere else? Do they have to be good where I live? Definitely need to gurney again after this. Let me just show you this. It's just one big lump of rhizome and roots and rotted stem and substrate. Okay, I will park this on the side as well. I have an idea as to what I can do with this. Well, glad one survived for now. Okay, This is looking more what I wanted. Some nice roots. I think it just needs a little bit more room, huh? 41 centimeters. I think this is gonna fit now, is it? But this. That's not bad, huh? Alrighty, my idea is to just shower some of the excess dirt out of here. Look at this, for example. I think this rot is too far in the rhizome. It's never gonna recover. Okay. It's still a mess. What I really want is I want to dry this in the sun a bit. Yeah, look, this is looking much better. You can at least see that there's a healthy, thick rhizome. It just doesn't have any more roots, huh? And maybe a little bit of rot here. Yay, now everything is dirty and wet. It's my favorite combination. Things need to be returned back into the spots where they belong, or where I want them to be for the foreseeable future. You're running out of battery again. Let me just quickly clean up a little bit and I'll be back. So I've just been kind of rearranging a little bit, specifically kind of just matching pots. I don't have enough nice pots. So some of them will have to stay in their black pots, but I feel like when I first walk out, that's when I want to see the beautiful pots. I don't know if this black thing is really that beautiful. I'm really mad about this black pot over there. So I've got this palm here. Hello. That is kind of I would say semi-hidden, so I don't think it needs this pot, maybe. I'll give it to somebody else. And you're gonna overheat in a sec if it keeps being sunny. Anyway, while I'm here, let's also trim this a bit. You're not really that pretty anymore. You're not really pretty. Let's see if this wants to come out of the pot. Surely over here I can pull on the plant, huh? Okay, I think this can return here by itself. Doesn't look terrible. Now on top of this looking nicer, this will also elevate the palm, giving me a little bit more privacy. We're getting there, I'm excited. A couple of things. I have these tea worm bags. It's basically I can brew a worm tea, which is an organic fertilizer, and I feel like given how many plants I've got out here, it makes total sense to just make a big batch of nutrients and then water all of them at once. I don't do it with every watering. Usually I just go around and hoist them all down, right? And I feel like it makes sense to use something organic rather than my normal mineral fertilizer. So I want to do that. While this is sitting here to brew, I'm gonna blow the whole garden again, clean it up a bit. feel like with leaf blowing, it's annoying as it is, like when I, for example, have friends coming over and I just quickly go, done. But you're really just creating more work for yourself. You just blow it from one corner into the other, huh? Anyway, let me charge the battery and then we get onto watering. Now, I want to water everything first and then provide the nutrients after. Especially the ones I repotted. Okay, I think the first load is ready. These moss pots are actually still quite sufficiently moist, so I'm just going to clean the leaves a bit. Just mist it basically. It's a little top up but doesn't need proper watering. This cordyline is so dirty from winter. Second lot of worm castings. Oh no. Some of these plants I will not repot this season. It's just too much work. So it's good to provide them with nutrients via this. I think there's some slow release fertilizer in my mix still as well, but I kind of feel better about being able to control it, you know? You know what? I think I'm going to make another batch just for the garden bed. Because I don't know how old the substrate in this garden bed is. I just used some mulch to top it. And obviously I'm not going to replace all of the substrate in the garden bed. Wow, you guys are so crooked. I think I'm done. Finally, the construction noise is back. Anyway, there's actually one more thing I really wanted to do over winter. Some of these lights have become a bit saggy. I think it's because possums also use them as little runways. So I want to tighten them again, and I want to get rid of all of the cobwebs on there as well. Better, huh? Ooh. Okay, one done. Bit better? I think this one is fine from a height perspective, it's just filthy. This one is challenged. Oh my god, I made it. Wow, that was actually quite exhausting but very rewarding. Ooh. I will give you a close-up look at everything. And you will also see that there are some empty spots still in the garden, but that's not a problem at all. That's actually by design, because I'm going to work on the greenhouse next, and I'm sure there's a few plants that will go from the greenhouse into the garden. And then I will also look at what else I've got inside that wants to either go into the greenhouse or the garden as well, because it's just easy to grow things outside over the next 6, 7, 8 months or so. And yeah, I feel like I have a few too many plants inside. I also have a few chop and extends overdue. With the chop and extend, I'll then take the bottom part and probably grow it outside, so that I've got one inside, one outside, just to kind of experiment a little bit. Anyway, let me bring you a bit closer, and then I really want to shower. I feel filthy. Alrighty, so the wall of aeroids over here, not much has changed. It's not looking terrible, but yeah, I'll figure that one out in a month's time or so, and I'll do a separate video on this. Definitely some room for more plants in this corner over here, but I really enjoy this corner with the 2 palm trees now and the matching white pots. Now let's get down behind here. This is that second Heliconia I was talking about, and I can also see new shoots coming out from here, so happy about that. That can give me a bit of privacy and fill in this empty space over here. This one I just lowered and put in the ground, and hopefully it can just grow up the fence a little bit. The trio star about to push out some flowers, happy days, and the bromeliad display is now over here. And let's see what happens to these regal shields. I've got the campine in the corner over there because I'm hoping that this colocasia is going to grow as big as this one over here. It's just a runner that it's sent out by itself over there. I think there's actually 2 runners. There's a small one somewhere else, which I can't see right now. But I'm hoping that this will fill in this corner quite nicely. Over here, some of the crawling philodendron still alive. That's good, good news. And then the cursiva over here, also quite happy and lush. All of the little oxalis popping out from everywhere, super cute. And over here you can see this anthurium coming back. I think something with D, but I don't remember fully. Alrighty. The Maranta is also looking really good, given that this is what it came out of winter with. But hopefully it can grow a little bit lusher. The Thermatophyllum got a new pot, so I reckon this can grow huge over the next couple of months. I mean, it's already growing, but with the new potential, the larger pot, I think it's going to shoot the lights out. And my bird of paradise, I think it will probably also like a bigger pot, but I also don't have a bigger pot. I also want to, it's not about getting it as large as possible. I don't think my garden can handle really anything that's larger than that. I'm just happy if it stays like that. Let me take you through to here. This is my variegated monstera that's pretty much reverted most of the time, but I'm just letting it kind of trail over the garden bed over here. Let's see. Same as with this no ID, it's the same one that I planted up the fence earlier. Oh, and there's actually some that is already growing up the fence. Same as this the cursor I also found the fence. Then here are the alocasias again, and they'll fill in really, really quickly, hopefully. There's also an unknown one here, and don't know what this is. Over here we've got the banana, cross your fingers, the regal shields, the king protea hanging here. I hope it's going to grow really nice in the sun. And then over here we're just waiting for the caladium to come out of dormancy, and the Bismarck palm should also be really happy now. Probably push this out a bit to here. And then down here, these are all of the Heliconia rhizomes, and I'm gonna do something with them. Maybe I'll just pot them up tomorrow. I just want to give them like a day out of a medium so that tomorrow they're kind of a little bit drier. All of the roots are dead, so I'm not worried about causing root rot. I want the rhizome to be a little drier so I can assess what I need to potentially cut off. And then pot them back up again, and hopefully I can recover them. And yeah, that is it. So we just got the greenhouse to go. It's looking very filthy, but I'm actually really excited about the rest of the garden. Honestly, given that this is what it looks like at the beginning of the season, I am really, really happy. I wasn't expecting more casualties as part of winter. Definitely a few plants didn't make it, like my micans, my Atabapuense and so on. Like, of course, ideally all of the plants would have made it through winter, but given how little effort I put into these plants over the course of winter, aka none, and how little effort I put into relocating them for the cooler season, I'm actually really happy with how lush the garden looks at the beginning of the growing season. So I can only imagine this exploding over the next few months, especially if I keep up the nutrient provision. I think that is my biggest challenge out here. Not so much the ones in the garden beds and so on, and I think obviously with them getting rained on as well, that's some nutrient provision there, but specifically the ones in the pots. You know, I like to grow things really nice and impressively, so if I can do some, I'm not saying you must provide nutrients to get any results. Look at nature. Nobody goes around and fertilizes in nature, but in nature, you know, things decompose and so on. But then again, I found some worms in my pots here as well. They provide natural fertilizer and so on, right? But where I can assist it, I don't mind doing it, right? I like growing plants, and as part of growing plants, I also like to fertilize my plants and water my plants and help them get the best out of them, you know? Anyway, I think if I keep that up, I can get some amazing results out of this garden, but as it is, it already looks quite good to me, at least in my humble opinion. But yeah, I'll definitely provide you some more updates throughout the growing season with how my garden is going and what's happening, and I'm sure there's going to be many projects coming out of this garden, many repots, many experiments and so on. So I'm very much looking forward to the next 6, 7, 8 months of growing happy plants outdoors. Thanks for coming along. It was good to have you back out in the garden for an extended period of time, and don't worry, we'll be back tackling the greenhouse. I hope you'll join me for that next episode as well. I'm not too sure when they're coming out. They're really lengthy usually, so I like to spread them out a little bit. In the meantime, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, please leave a gardener emoji in the comment section down below, and you know, give this video a thumbs up, share it with anybody who might be interested. Watching my content, engaging with it is by far the best way for you guys to support me, and I really appreciate it. On that note, it's time for me to wrap it up. Bye.